Hey everyone, Livy here, back with another video. This time, just like how I've gone over, chariots, major arcana, court cards, and now, the wonderful wands, we are now into another segment of the minor arcana deep dive, which is, I guess I'm going to call this contemplative cups. Yeah. Contemplative cups. So we're in the cup suit. These are my favorite cards I was able to find of the minor arcana with the cups. There were some interesting ones, not gonna lie. But it was really hard. I don't know, for some reason it was really hard to narrow down in this case, but yeah. Anyways, let's get into it. First one, my ace. I just really thought this ace was so pretty from the Northern Animal Tarot. I really like the white raven, or not, no, white crow. I think it's just a crow based on the beak. But anyways, I really like the white crow. Just the waters, brimming with potential, the start of a new beginning. It's very peaceful. And for that reason, I really liked this ace. That's it, really. I mean, there's not much to say on that one. For the two, there was a lot of interesting depictions of the two, but I found myself really liking these two the most. I'm going to explain both these. Well, this one is from Dream Vision Tarot. This too, the reason why I found myself liking it is that you could see that there are two parts of a same entity, which is kind of what this card is about, right? New love, new, romance, but it's between the day and the night. And I thought that was really cool that this deck depicted that, to show how they have to work together. Which is why I really like this too. But I feel like this Two of Cups also showed that pretty nicely, but instead of them being like the day and the night, they are two trees that are growing like next to each other. Or I guess you could call them nymphs. Maybe they're types of nymphs, but obviously, and there's a cute little heart. And they were just together, growing together, being together. And yeah, I really liked these two. Not to say that, again, that there weren't some other interesting depictions of the two, but I felt like these two had the best when it comes to like showing the duality of it. Anyways, and by the way, sorry, I'm probably sound more stuffed up today. It's like I said, I'm trying to get over something, a bug. 3 from Practical Magic again. This was my favorite 3 because it gave me the biggest sense, not only just a keyword that says group hang, but it gave me the most feeling of like best friends and just you're getting together and you're hanging out and you're contemplating life and getting advice from each other. And they just look so content and happy that they were my favorite. Not to say that I had a couple of other decks that were like kind of good runner-ups of like besties hanging out. But I really liked them the best. They showed kind of that group dynamic the best for me. So I went with them. 4. There could have been a lot of... The 4 of Cups is an interesting card, and there could have been a lot of them that were the 4. But I went with the one from the Guide in Hand Tarot. I felt like this 4 gives the most energy of what I think the 4 is, which is very much like when you're down in the dumps. Maybe you're having your cigarette break and you're trying to contemplate life and your choices, and some of it sucks and you only can see one of the cups even though you technically have 3, and it's a lot of contemplation that has to go on. Sometimes it is like down in the dumps, woe is me, but sometimes it's just like something just doesn't feel right, and you gotta sit in your feelings and think about what that is, which is why I liked this one the best. There were some 4s in a lot of the decks that were showing them throwing little temper tantrums, which is also kind of what it can be too, but I just liked this depiction. Now the next 2, trigger warning for animals death, if you don't like that in one of them, if you want to skip ahead a little bit. But I have 2 5 of Cups. This one is from Anima Mundi. This one is from the Wonderworld Tarot. I'll start with this one. The reason why I like this 5 of Cups is if you are familiar at all with the story of Alice in Wonderland, you will know that this is basically the moment where Alice thinks that everything is kind of going to shit for her. She drank from one of the cups, and the drink me bottle, and it made her way too big. And in desperation, she's like, no, that's not my size. And she couldn't fit through the door. She starts crying, and everything just seems like a disaster. And I feel, especially the 1999 movie version of this really depicts this scene really well. But, she's just down in the dumps and everything sucks. And that's kind of the vibe of the 5 of Cups, that nothing feels like it's gone right. And I feel like this card depicted that really well. Now, this one is really sad. But I also felt like this is the other vibe of the 5, right? Is that this card makes me really sad too. I don't like animal death, which is why I'm trying to cover it up. But these poor penguins lost their penguin baby, and everything is just dark and cloudy and sad because the light of their life is gone, which is also kind of what this card is about. It's despair and sadness. So I feel like these 2, not to say that I didn't have other cards that could have captured that energy, but I feel like these ones captured it the best for me. I'm going to cover up the other one. Okay. 6. There was a lot of interesting cards that showed nostalgia for the 6 of Cups. Or youthful energy, getting back to that kind of mindset. But I found myself liking this 6 of Cups the most. This is from Shadowscapes Tarot. Again, if I didn't say, that's where this one was from. But I found myself liking this cup the most because look at her. Look at how cute she is. She's having her own little tea party, and there's her dolls. And those are I guess her fairy attendants who are just having tea with her too, enjoying the time, having fun, being young and silly. And it's just such a sweet scene. There was some interesting runner-ups for this, but I felt like this one was just the best in showing the nostalgia for me. So I went with it, but it's really cute. Now, this is a weird thing to say, I feel like. It's kind of weird. I actually really like the 7 of Cups. I've always had a weird connection with the 7 of Cups. Maybe it's because I've talked about this before in a video with Kelly Bear. I have every time I think of the 7 of Cups, I think of it as the anxiety card. For people who have anxiety, this is a big issue where sometimes you have too many choices, wishful thinking and otherwise, and you just don't know which choice is the best for you. So interestingly enough, I'm very picky with my 7s, and I guess my 7s are not as as great as I think, because the only 2 that I found myself really liking the most were from the Raven's Prophecy Tarot and Guided Hand again. This one I've just always liked from this deck because it gives you the options. And it shows in an interesting way how, like, these crows, or ravens, I can't tell, one of them could be the right choice for you, but you don't know which one has a choice that you need, which is why I always like it when they actually show the choices, the issue that you have, right? Sometimes it's a scary snake and you could avoid that easily. But sometimes, is the moon going to be bad for you? Is the crown going to be bad for you? Is going down the light? You don't know. Which is similarly why I like this 7. I kind of like her face a lot though, where she's like, oh God, what choice am I supposed to make? She's like frozen in that state. And there's a lot of like weird choices abound. And yeah, how do you know which one is the right one? And I kind of liked these choices for this card because it's showing some like, some of them look like they're obviously not the greatest or they're very mysterious. And so it's like, how do you know which option is the right one for you? In that vein, I like both of those. I don't know. Next. There's a lot of interesting 8s too. But I found myself liking these 2 8s the most. Which is funny for this deck. This is a Tempest Tarot. Funny for this deck because, to be honest, I'm not 100% a fan of the coloring of this deck. Every time I see this deck, I kind of get pissed off that the whole thing's not colored. I don't know. I just hope the creator comes out with a different edition where the whole deck is colored. I don't know why it's in this weird thing where the ocean's not colored or the sand, like, and the sky, it's just really strange. But I like this 8 of Cups, at least, because it gives you the idea that this boat, it's like, I can't tell. See, that's the thing, because it's not colored correctly. I can't tell if it's in water or if it's on the shore, but either way, this boat is taken off without the broken bits. It has to leave the things behind because it's not worth it, and it's going to get them stuck or captured or worse, which is why I thought this was an interesting 8. But I also like this 8 because it's from the Starseeker Tarot, because it's showing the act of having to leave something behind, and you don't know what's coming next. You don't know if the choice to leave behind these cups is a good one. I mean, the background looks like it could be, but you don't know that, Sometimes that's what this card is about, is like, even though you think you have to cut your losses and go, you don't know what lies on the other side. And I thought this was an interesting depiction of that for me, which is why I went with it. Now the next 2, I feel like this video is going a lot quicker, maybe because it's like easier to explain why. And again, for some reason, I wasn't finding like the cups I thought I was going to find. Maybe it's my decks. I don't know. Anyways, sorry. That's a tangent. Not going into that. 9 of Cups. This card, is usually about like, oh, everything's great. Everything's happy. Yay. And how do you show that like in a way that's not stale and boring? And for me, again, from the Raven's Prophecy Tarot, this is the easiest way. Just the beauty and majesty of the sky. How when you look up into the sky, you just get the sense of calm, that everything is good in this moment, and you can enjoy what you're seeing without having to worry about what's coming next for you in your life. Every time I see this card, I just get so happy, I guess. It's a good depiction of the 9 in that sense. You just get the sense of wonder, which is why I think this was an easy, clear-cut favorite, And in that vein, finally, the 10. Wow, this video is going to be really quick compared to the other. I feel like the wands, wasn't the wands video really long? I don't know. Anyway, sorry, not relevant. It's about the cups. These are my favorite cups for a reason. 10 of Cups. I wouldn't see, okay, because this card is kind of confusing, because if you're first learning tarot, the difference between the 9 and the 10 can be kind of hard. The 9 is like, I always see it as like everything's really good and happy, but it's only for now, you know. It's very temporary, whereas the 10 can feel like a final completion of a thing. Like everything is happy and there's a reason for it, right? Like you've worked hard or something, you know. And it's very family. A lot of times this card like shows a lot of family together, happy under the sun, blah blah blah. But my favorite 10 ended up being this one, once again from the Wonderworld Tarot. And I think it's because, again, if you know the story of Alice and Alice in Wonderland, I mean, there's still a rainbow. It's cute in the background. But the reason why this ended up being my favorite, I think, is because if you know anything about the story of Alice in Wonderland, you know that she goes through a lot when she's in Wonderland. But it's interesting because by the end of the book, she gets this real sense of purpose about who she is and what she was doing and what she was dreaming about in a way. And this card kind of just shows all that, like the people that she met along the way who taught her really interesting lessons about how to act and see the world around her. And they're having a good time and they've become their own family, even though partially, you know, it's all in her mind. I just thought this was an interesting take on it, you know, to show them and they're all happy-go-lucky, despite the fact that she didn't feel so happy-go-lucky when she originally meets them, you know. But I just liked how this card showed that. And yeah, like I said, I feel like this video is a lot quicker, but for some reason it was really, I thought the wands were hard to find like good depictions, but for some reason the cups also were. I think which decks are going to have the most interesting depictions are actually going to be the swords and the pentacles, because people, the way that they depict them in a lot of the decks I have are in really interesting and fascinating ways, or really dramatic ways. So I think those will spark a lot more debate than the cups, which tend to be about emotions and contemplation and the things that you know. But yeah, maybe you guys have more interesting cup cards than me. You might have to just tag me and let me know so I can see. And once again, if you want to do this, tag this adventure looking at your cup cards. This will be called Contemplative Cups. The other one was Wonderful Wands. And yeah, I'll come back next time when I know what I want to call the Pentacles and Sword videos. But yeah, thank you all and bye.